All right, all right. Welcome back to another episode of the Critics Collective. I'm Legacy Lingo. We have Manny, the not so super fan, here with us, and Brandon B. Fletcher. And of course, we're here to discuss with you guys Widow's Bay episodes 6 and 7. Go ahead and warn you guys, this is a spoiler discussion. We're getting in deep. If you haven't seen it, please go watch it, then come back and join us. We already have the mid-season review up for episodes 1 through 5. Get in those comments. Let us know what you think. Let us know your theories, how much you're enjoying the show. And come back to this one as we talk about episodes 6 and 7. So I'm actually glad we got 2 episodes, and it made a lot of sense once we got it out. Episode 6 was titled Our History, and we got to see, the early stages of their that town and their history, their founding fathers, and then and details of the curse. And then we got episode 7 to follow, which put us right back where we were. And I was great. I was glad we got both. I wanted more, but
yeah, I would have went crazy if we only got episode 6. I'm glad they did that because, like, episode 6 is great, but if I had to wait another week, that would have been tough because we got nothing in the present.
Right. Yeah, it didn't.
Yeah, like one little thing in the present, like at the very end, but.
Yeah, I was like, so it was smart for them to do that because that would have just really it didn't really push the story forward. And we needed to know how it was going to push the story forward, and that's exactly what they gave us. So that was great. Manny, you haven't been a part of this conversation so far. How are you feeling about the series?
So far I'm enjoying it. I like the whole mystery aspect of everything, even though they do throw a lot of hints at you as far as what's going on with the mystery, like when we got to episode 6 and 7, they if you pay attention, they do kind of hint. Can I spoil it?
Oh yeah, we just open discussion.
Yeah, because like at least one of the 5 children survive. At least, if you guys remember at the ending of the show, the painting, you guys pay attention. I know it kind of hint like one of the 5 children survived. So I think the mayor's son is probably one of those, like like the mayor or his son is somewhat the descendant. And I think that even though the original mayor died, I think the curse is still, most likely the curse is still alive.
Yeah, I believe that too.
I agree. It was funny because I know we kind of like jumping ahead because we're kind of like in episode 7 right now, but I thought it was funny that they were like, okay, the curse dies with me, no descendants. And I was just thinking, like, did anybody never do their genealogy with the town? Because everybody just like, okay, yeah, cool. Like nobody in the town was going to be descendants. Like, do they not know? Did they not try to know, or just assuming? That was like the only thing that bothered me, because I figured, like, such a small town, people kind of know their history, right? If like, oh, I lived here all my life, my family lived here, so they would probably know, like, yeah, I'm descendants of like Richard Warren and blah 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 blah. But they were just like, oh, it died with me, no more descendants. I was just like, y'all sure? Because I don't know, y'all seem pretty confident in that.
Well, me just speculating. I would assume that maybe because of how troubled he was, whoever may have been a descendant may not have wanted to openly admit it. Maybe tried to just maybe try to start over. But that's me making excuses. They definitely gonna have to explain
it. Again, going back to that, I think his wife is probably
I think she's like the number one suspect for being a descendant.
Yeah. And that, okay, so we jumping all over the place. So
let's start with this.
Realistically, okay, because I was about to get on to the wife thing. We gotta say that. All right. So let's get back to the history, the episode 6. I saw an article pop up before I watched it that said that Widow's Bay is this episode is actually taking a shift in genre. And I was sitting there, I was like, this is clickbait. I'm not gonna click on that so they can spoil something and not really be the case. But when I was watching it, it wasn't as funny. It was definitely more of a thriller. It was definitely more on the creepy side. They probably had a couple of little moments I giggled at, but it was dark and it was pretty heavy. I was like,
That's funny that you said that, because I was cracking up in episode 6. It was, to me, it was a lot of funny moments, but like they came, like one of the funniest moments it was 2 funny moments to me, like that was hilarious. I was like dying laughing. One, they have this little council, with the priest and all this other stuff, and they're trying to figure out what's going on in town. And the new wife shows up, Sarah, and she comes from the mainland, and she's like, I don't have no kids, I don't have no husband. This guy needs a husband. I'm gonna get on this boat and come have this new life on this island. She gets there, things are wild, and so she goes and tell the priest and all these people. She's like, look, man, this man is crazy. He over there, making a covenant with demons and stuff. And they're like, yeah, we know. We're gonna try to take care of it. They were like, leave your door unlocked. We're gonna come take care of it. She in there bed asleep. The little assassin go come in, go try to stab her. She's like, no.
That did make me laugh.
I was like, they are really bad at this.
Yeah, it's funny about the fact that she actually got there. It's like, no, idiot. And you're like, okay, my bad.
And then, after all that happens, it doesn't work. She goes back. She's like, I can't deal with this, man. I need to go. And she's like, oh, but he was like, oh, well, what about your kids? And I literally said out loud to Tiff, like, that's not her kids. And then she was like, I just met them.
Right.
She's like, let me go. So it was stuff like that had me cracking up. But I agree that it was definitely more of a thriller, but they still found ways to make it funny. Like that's what I love about it. Like it was still probably like 75% thriller horror,
right?
Probably a little more gory than usual. Mm-hmm. But they still found a way to put those comedic moments in. And I love the actress that plays Sarah, Betty Gilpin. Mm-hmm. If you guys haven't seen the show called Mrs. Davis, check it out, because she's the lead in it, and it's one of the craziest shows I've ever seen.
Oh wow. Yeah, but I thought you're right. There actually were a lot of funny moments. I think I was just so invested in, like, oh shit, what's how's it gonna get us, that I missed it. But now, as you're mentioning, I'm like, yeah, there was a lot of comedic moments now, and some of the things that I noticed that they were putting in there, like the well that she came out of was the well that the reverend, the pastor, or father, whatever you want to call him, he stumbled across it in the woods. So I'm like, okay, my mind is all racing.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, when she came climbing out of it, I was like, that's the same well that he stuck his ear to, and I'm wondering, like, they're throwing a lot of stuff, and I'm wondering if they're realizing it, and they're gonna bring it back in, or if there's just gonna be some stuff that just kind of they just forget about. Because it seems like for us to have only two episodes, 8, 9, 10, 3 episodes left. I'm worried about them losing themselves by just throwing so much at us. Manny, what are you thinking about that?
Yeah, it's one thing I usually worry about shows when it comes to that, especially when there's so much mystery that surrounds the show. Mm-hmm. I'm hoping the payoff is good, because at this point I'm like wondering what is this entity that's that's controlling the mayor, that's as far as the town. Because at first I thought it was about ghosts, and other things. Then you have now a book that was controlling people when Patricia was trying to do her party. So that, which was hilarious.
Right.
But now I just want to know, how's the payoff going to be? What's the final, in wrestling term, what's the final boss? Who's the final boss?
I don't necessarily think that we need to know like everything, because I saw some people trying to make connections between what happened in episode 6 with some of the stuff happened in the past episodes. And I don't think everything has to have a connection, because we're dealing with hundreds of years of this town, right? And not every little thing has to have a connection, because some people thought that what was her name? Abigail. She was like was she the wife of the priest? She was related some way, but at the end when Sarah was trying to leave, She came up all bloody, and then Sarah hit her with the oar, and I saw people saying like, "Oh, that's the sea hag," and I'm just like, I don't think so. Just because she got knocked in the water, that doesn't mean like she's a sea hag. Like,
no.
And the term sea hag, that means to me, that means like, someone of the water, might have been out in the water and for some time. So I don't think that's like necessarily like have to have a connection. Everything doesn't need to be explained. Like, there's clearly a kraken out in the ocean, right? So it's like,
and they're not going to
I
connect
don't
that
need
either.
to know like where the kraken came from. It's just a mysterious island, like, you know what I mean? But as long as the characters and the plot that we're dealing with right now, like as long as they can land that, I think I'm fine. Like, I don't need to know like where the sea hag came from or where the kraken came from. It's just 100 years of a weird, mysterious island, and not everything needs to be connected, right? Some things can just exist.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. That moment where the Reverend, when he leaned and listened to the well and all of a sudden he hung himself, that just stayed with me. Like, what happened?
Yeah.
So my theory as far as that, I think he realized, he looking into everything, he probably found out that, okay, the entity is hungry, and he sacrificed himself to basically feed the entity. And the only reason he tried to hide the evidence so nobody else following his steps. They're probably gonna, I think that's what's gonna happen. That's probably what's gonna be revealed. Because the only time the church bell, right?
Right.
You guys are aware of that, when it rings is when the entity is hungry. So I'm assuming that's why he killed himself.
So that's why we haven't heard the bell again.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a nice theory there. I like it.
Yeah,
Right.
I thought, my initial thought was that, he had instructions on, hey, if the bell ring, man, you got to do this. And also the bell is chained up. So that just means like, so him seeing that, again, like everybody in this town, like knows the history, they knows the creepiness, but they all try to deny it. Right. So like, I thought in that moment, that was him being like, oh, this is real. And he heard the bell. And then he went in there and he looked right up at it. It was chained up. There's no way that bell was moving. So he was like, all right, here we go. And then he probably looked at the instructions, like Manny said, and was like, all right, this is what I got to do to stop this entity. But that doesn't mean it's necessarily gone.
Right. Which brings us to the next point that I wanted to bring up. And maybe I missed something. Maybe you guys can help me. And I probably sound like an idiot, but I was a little thrown off by the fact that our founding father, Richard Warren, he made a deal with whatever, and he was gonna to live forever while he did the island's bidding or of that nature. But why then, if he's still alive underground, why is this island waking back up and doing things, and why did it take so long? If, like, I don't understand why maybe I'm looking too deep, but I feel like as long as he's been under, they should have had multiple waves of the island coming back, which they did. Actually, you can see it in the history, but what his deal was supposed to actually protect everybody from it, and I don't see how. And now Tom Loftus is getting whispers, and I'm like, is this really deal really going to help everybody? I'm confused about the whole deal as a whole.
I understood it as, if I give this island what it wants, right? Because they said he killed his wife.
He did.
They did mention that, so that's why he needed a new wife. That's why Sarah came across. He said that he's been protecting the town by giving these sacrifices, and it's like it's his burden. He doesn't like having to kill these people. So for me, what it seems like, and we don't know the time frame, right? Is it every 1 year? Is it every 2 or 3 years? Where the entities? Is it every couple months the entity needs to be fed? But to me, it sounded like, hey, if I feed it, if I give it a sacrifice, one human, it's not going to kill everybody. And so like for him, he's like, hey, I'm protecting the town by giving up this one sacrifice.
Okay.
And when he goes away, then that's when the crazy stuff starts happening. That's why you're getting all these stories about the sea hag and then the kraken and all these other occurrences that are going on, because that's the island feeding itself, because it doesn't have that sacrifice, basically.
So the crazy history is a result of them not giving the island what it wants. That's what you're saying.
What is it
Right.
necessarily a lead? The mayor or leader that has to feed it because of the pack they had? Because
It sounds like it. It
all
sounds like
these
it because when they okay, we're kind of getting into episode 7 now.
Let's do it.
But episode 7 starts. Okay, this was the crazy part. When in episode 6, when the church people they decided to go ahead and kill him, as soon as they buried him alive, I was like, man, it'd be crazy if he's still alive under there. And then I was like, that'd be too crazy. They're not gonna do that. Then episode 7 came, they were like, oh yeah, he upstairs. I was like, wait, what? Which was great. Episode 7 was hilarious.
It was very funny.
And yeah, so when in episode 7, when he's like, I only want to talk to, I forgot how he worded it, but he was basically like, I want to only talk to the leader of this town,
Yeah.
the protector of the town.
Right.
And so that's the mayor. And so, like you said, that I think that's part of it. Like, I think that is up to whoever's running the town has to bear that burden. And that'd be interesting because, like, we have 3 episodes left.
3.
It'd be interesting to see if that they quote unquote don't stop it, and Tom has to just contend with. He has to do some things he's uncomfortable with. I would like that direction.
Right. I would love that. Manny, what are you about to say?
No. I think there's probably like a amount of people, like a quarter, like the leader got to meet, because it appears like every time, like I guess the entity doesn't get enough, like it takes his own take matters into his own hand. Like we'll go back to the flashback with the plague. I think the entity just caused the plague because I guess the mayor didn't meet the quota of how many people he wanted to kill. And even with Patricia, how she was one of the surviving girls with that attack. The entity probably make people kill each other, and how she saw remember with the book again. Go back to the book. That symbol in the book is the same one as Richard's necklace. So
yeah. Also, that's to me that sounds like that situations where the college or high school girls, teenagers were killed. To me, that sounds like the island getting what it wants. And it didn't stop at Patricia because she's special or anything. I think it was just like, all right, man, I'm full. I'm going to go about my business. Like the island was just done. Yeah, I got what I needed. I'm done. And, I don't think, and it sucks for her because like I don't think she's making that up. I think that actually happened to her.
Yeah,
unfortunately, like everybody else in the island thinks she's just making stuff up.
Right.
Yeah, and trying to like insert herself in something because she's not the popular girl. But I think that really did happen to her. But I also think that like the island was just like, yeah, I'm done. I don't need any more right now. So I can move on, unless like this could be crazy. Like she had that book and was reading it and all this other stuff. Unless she's like some descendants of like some special witches, and the demon was like, oh no, we good. And he's gonna go about his business. Like that could be cool. That could be cool. Well, we'll see.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys clarified it for me. I feel stupid now how obvious it is, but it's okay. I've been a little distracted, tried to jump into it and enjoy it, but I'm going to definitely go back and watch it again now because everything you guys are saying makes sense now as far as...
I kind of want to go watch from the very beginning.
Right.
I was kind of thinking about doing that before this episode, but I didn't have time. But I want to go back and watch everything because, like, man, the stuff people are pulling up online and be like, oh, this episode 2, episode 1, like all this stuff, and they're making these connections. Like, I got to go back and watch this.
Yeah.
And it also, like, it's such a visual show, also. So, like, if you're not paying attention, you can miss something very easily.
That was my problem. I was actually editing while watching at the same time, so shame on me. But I did start paying attention to this point that I do want to talk about, and that is Evan finding that information on his mother. I have 2 theories on that. One theory,
I'm kind of glad that happened because
go ahead. Yeah. It's something he'll pop back up. Go ahead.
Okay. It's something I'm glad that happened, and it just made me feel a little better about their relationship now.
Yeah.
Like he always had this feeling that like he has these memories of like, yeah, man, I remember my mom. I know I was 1 year old, but I remember having her there. And his dad's like, nah, what you talking about? Your mom died during childbirth. And then like now seeing these images, he's making that connection, being like, I'm not crazy.
Right.
And now it's like, okay, I see why he's kind of the way he is. Like his dad was gaslighting him basically, right? Being like, no. Your mom died during childbirth. And he's basically like, no, I kind of remember. You know, we can have memories at one year old, and like we can have that. They can be dormant, but they can be there, like right, and like in real life. I'm not even talking about on TV, like right. So it wouldn't be. It's not far fetched for him to remember that stuff. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of glad we're not dwelling on this relationship too long. I feel like we're going to kind of move forward, and maybe I like his character a little more in the future. But I was glad this happened in the episode.
I think he's going to spaz out because he's been lied to. I think it's
that argument's going to happen. I'm hoping that like it's a good argument. Everybody say their piece, and then we move on.
Yeah, Manny, you back? You good?
Yeah. As far as the son goes, I don't know. I just had that moment, you know, as a black person, somebody just going in my room and just having random people touching my shit. I want his ass to get beat so bad.
I was thinking the same thing.
And the way that girl was behaving,
I was gonna say that. I was like, oh, I thought it was gonna be more entertaining. Like, peer pressure, man. Think he gonna get him a little something. He can go do whatever she say.
Yeah.
Speaking of black person, the sheriff is pissed off, right? He's like, man, tell me what's going on. And she tells him, he's like, nah, man, I'm good. Me and my wife, we're gonna go ahead and get off this island. I was like, okay, they gonna bring the sheriff in. And then he was like, nah.
I think he knows.
I think he probably like this.
Manny, you think he knows?
I think he probably has a hint of what's, because he's the sheriff. I would assume like that's my theory, that one day he's probably like, you know, I've been driving around, I noticed this thing, I just kept quiet. I think he's probably aware of something going on in the town. He just never said nothing. But now that he's getting the confirmation that he's gonna, you know what, I gotta get the fuck out of here.
But I agree with that. Like I pretty much agree with that with every single person in the town. I think that, you know, it seems hinted at that they're not from there, him and his wife. And so they're planning on making that move. It's, you know, they talked about, was it episode 1 where he was talking about the wife was pregnant. They want to leave the island. Their child could be born off the island. So I think, he knows. He just don't want to be involved. My name been and I ain't in it. He's just like, you know what? Basically. I'm good, man. And he's like, I'm give me a couple weeks. I'm about to be gone.
Yeah.
No, I saw that scene with Patricia where they were like, oh, go take care of the sheriff. And, you know, the writers are so good for making us root for her. And then she like kind of doesn't fully lock in. It's like they were like, go take care of the sheriff. I'm like, yeah, man, Patricia, go do your thing. And then I was like, wait, is she gonna really do it? And then she goes up to him and she's trying to distract him. And you know, she fails. And then she goes and tries to do it again. And then she kind of some success. And then she has to do the most extreme thing because she's just so awkward. She's just like, let me just go ahead and get in the truck and just try to take it. I'm just like, that's the writers, they're so good at writing her.
Yeah, and that's why she's one of my favorite characters, because what makes sense to her when she does lock it is always like, wait, hold on, you know, because she is just all in. So I love that.
It's like communicating with the zombie Richard Warren, and she's like, oh yeah, we've been passing notes, and then Tom looks at the notes. It's like, are you? Is it one that's like, are you mad at me? I was like, what?
Are you mad at something I said? And then she kept popping in, interrupting.
Oh my god! Like, yeah, the comedic timing on this episode was amazing. And again, the writers keep surprising me because, you know, once he's alive, and he's just like, look, we got to end this curse, blah blah blah, and I'm just like, yes, like okay, like we're fully in, and we're gonna take care of this. And then they get on the boat, and Wick is like, we got to keep him in that coffin, man. Don't let him out. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I get that. And they get out to the ocean. I thought they were just going to let him out. I thought they just wanted to, you know. But then Wick was like, no, he got to stay in there. And then I was like, oh, that's kind of messed up. But
I was
like,
thinking it too.
I was like, he wants to die. Like, he wants to end the curse. And so then, Tom was like, oh, I already let him out, and Wick is just like, he's just pissed. And I'm just like, I get it, Wick. And I'm just like, it's not going to be that bad. Then there's talking, and then Warren says, what if I get out there and I'm like, I want to live? And I'm just like, oh God, here we go.
Wick warned him. He's like, I don't believe a man that wants to die. He's like, no.
Yeah. And I was like, yeah. And then, yeah, he was ready. He was ready not to deal with it. And so I'm glad to see Tom lock in, though. He did his thing.
He did his thing. All right. So I got a crazy theory about the son and the mom, though. I just want to throw it out there. It doesn't really have any traction, but I don't want it to actually happen in that way. And then I didn't say it.
Okay.
So I'm pretty sure this is not gonna happen, but it's one of those, I need to say it out there so I can be like, I knew it, and then people believe me. All right. But it's very far-fetched. But in my mind, I was wondering, what if those photos of her and that child, and remember when we had the flashback, she was getting pains as they were headed to the mainland, but we never got that story finished.
Mm-hmm.
What if those images what if those images were from a previous child that they lost?
Oh.
And then Evan was actually born on the island and can't leave. And he I don't know, maybe she died during childbirth trying to get back to the mainland so they can have the birth or whatever, or go visit maybe the grave of the first child or something. My mind just went deep. Like, what if those images are locked because there's another child that's either on the mainland or died or whatever, and that's not him? And I don't know, but I just want to throw that out there. I have no way to tie it in. But if that is
that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right. There's no evidence of that, but that's just writer's brain, right?
Yeah.
It's just like sometimes I'll be watching stuff and I'm just like, it'd be interesting if this happens, because I'm thinking about how would I write this, how would I flip this, how would I do this. So yeah, I didn't consider that. I just thought that, I'm taking in what they're giving us, and maybe I shouldn't.
Yeah. Well, I'm just trying to justify why he's lying about the mom dying. Go ahead, Manny.
So yeah, let's say he's lying about her dying during childbirth, right? There has to be a reason, right?
Yeah.
What if she knew that the entity, since she's possibly a descendant, what if she knew that the entity wanted a sacrifice and she tried to sacrifice her own kid, or she sacrificed herself?
So
that would be insane. That would definitely be insane. I can see how that would be hard on Tom too.
Yeah. So now the only way to make you think that your mother was a good person is, she died during childbirth.
Childbirth as opposed to suicide or self-sacrifice. That would be, I would lie to my kid about that too. I could lie about that.
Yeah, your mama was crazy, man. She tried to kill you.
I honestly, I think we're gonna get a lot of this in episode 8.
Yeah.
I think episode 8 is gonna be that conversation between Evan and Tom and the whole mother stuff. And I think we're gonna get some connections to her, what her lineage is, whether it's her or whether it's Tom, because Tom could be the one that could be a descendant. It could be either one of them, but either way, now Evan is a descendant. There's no way around it. Like I think he's a descendant. I have another theory.
Okay, let's have it.
And I could be very wrong, but I think the show it doesn't have all the horror tropes, but it has some of them. And one trope I definitely always latch on to is that if you think a character's dead and there's an entity somewhere that you can't see, we've never seen it, and there's possessions can happen and demons and all this other stuff. When you think a character's dead and they pop back up, I always think that's not them. Either it's not them, it's the entity fully in control, or like the entity possessed them. Right. So with that said, I don't think that's Wick.
You don't think that's Wick that came out of the water? You think it's this?
No, I think we lost Wick. I think we lost him, and he's going to come back. And
There was a shark in the water,
That's
right?
not him, huh?
There was a shark in the water. There was a shark in the water, right?
It was, well, I call it the Kraken, but like the way he described it in that story, to me, it sounds like a Kraken.
Right.
But when Wick fell, didn't you notice? Go back.
I
Go
saw
back
movement,
and watch. You see.
but I didn't know. I didn't think it was a shark. I thought it was like what that creature he described before.
Right. That always took him last time. He said he kicked his friend under because he was trying to get away.
Yeah.
So I think we probably lost. They probably took him under, and then now we seeing, you know, some entity, some spirit of Wick that's the island's in control of.
I like that.
Yeah, because as soon as he went overboard, I was like, oh no, and it's like you got to go back and save him. And if they edited in a way where they found him in the ocean,
right?
He's like, Wick, and they like grabbed each other. I probably wouldn't have thought of it this way. He thought he lost him.
Yeah.
And then turned around and Wick was just on the boat.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, He's like, hey, I had a friend of mine tell me, he said this. He said, he don't think it's Wick because when he came out the water, Wick was too nice to him. And I was like, oh.
Well, I mean, he did.
I mean, Tom did lock in, but
he did kind of snap at him for doing like, why the hell would you do that? And he looked at me like, why would I save your life? And then he took a deep breath and said, okay, you did good. So he did kind of come off Wick like,
yeah.
But that's still a very interesting theory. I'm actually excited to see if that plays out.
You said something,
I kind of hope not because I love Wick as a character.
What'd you say, Manny?
Like you said something. Brendan said something that kind of hit me. You know, Tom, man, he needs to lock in. Even at the beginning of the episode, man, this man, every hint that would get some shit is going down, he just wouldn't believe it. Even that one scene where he's driving, the first time he encounters the hag, I'm like, yo, this motherfucker stopped the car. Why are you stopping the
Look, man, I'm telling you,
at this point, I was like, Tom gotta go, man. Tom gotta go.
Yeah.
They be trying to be like, oh, it's all in my head.
Go even on the boat, like you know, when he just, oh yeah, I already let Richard out the coffin. Like, yo, Tom, what the fuck you doing, man?
That was too funny of a moment. Okay, so last thing I want
the writer, I know she wrote a couple episodes for Parks and Rec, so I would assume that. So the comedy is hitting with that.
The comedy is definitely hidden. The last thing I wanted to bring up though, this was actually just a low for me. Wick had made a point before they agreed to take Richard Warren out to Beyond the Line. He said that we don't know if this is going to work, and he said the island is not going to allow this. In my mind, I thought we were about to get a wave of crazy as they keep trying to get him out there. And I was actually disappointed that it played out so simple. I really wanted to see the island like really get angry at it, but then because it went so smooth is exactly why there's no mystery to us. We all know that didn't break the curse. And that's what started making me question the whole, what deal did he make? And I got all off track, but you guys brought me back on. He was just supposed to keep feeding the island to avoid all the big chaos. But I was really disappointed that it wasn't like a wave of just like the craziest shit we've seen so far. You know, and then maybe it all just come to a dead halt as they pass the line, and to give the image that it worked. And then of course we find out whatever's next.
Also, like I think they're purposely. What this was episode 7, there's 3 episodes up. I think they're purposely like giving the carriers a W before it's ripped away from us. Because the way the episode ended, it kind of felt like a success, right?
It did.
It's like it feels like a success, but we got 3 episodes left. So it's like you're thinking like, what the hell can happen in the next 3 episodes? Now, one thing we know, we're going to get more on the father-son dynamic, right? We're going to get that. But as far as the mystery, the curse, and all this other stuff, yeah, I think it's still gonna be more. And I think like the characters could be wrong.
Yeah.
Like, they could be unreliable in the sense that, unreliable narrators where, they're not necessarily lying, but like they don't know what they don't know.
Right.
So they're listening to Richard Warren. What if he's wrong?
Right.
It's
very possible.
He's just going by what he knows. Like he might not know everything there is to know about the island or the entity. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, we can get to the point where like they thinking like, yeah, man, we did it. He's dead. This, that, blah, blah, blah. Also, I was really hoping they showed them dump that casket over the water. Cause I was like, what if they try to go back and then his bones just come back together?
I was thinking the same thing. But as soon as they come back, he regenerates.
So yeah, I think there's like, I think it's great one that they gave us that backstory, episode 6. In episode 7, we like, okay, we're gonna execute. We figured it out, right? And then it feels like a W, but like, man, this is this uneasy feeling with this W. And to me, one of the biggest uneasy feelings is Wick.
Yeah. All right. Well, we gonna find out. We gonna find out. Manny, you got anything else you want to add?
Nah. I just know, like with Brendan, I know I've said before, my worry is that they're not gonna reveal everything, and just like you brought up, you don't think what was it that we're gonna get any answers as far as the entity, but I think what is the entity, what's going on as far as the background entity. I think when they get back to the island, we're probably gonna get a lot of reveal when it comes to the son part of the
right
that family side, the wife. I think they're gonna probably do a background story. They're probably gonna have a fight or a heartfelt moment where the dad say, "Hey, your mama was a crazy bitch. She tried to kill you," something like that, and then it goes on to where, hey, they found out probably she's a descendant of the kid who survived, or Sarah, whoever. So, because that painting is hinting somebody survived, somebody followed that boat.
I think it's the one daughter. And where's the brooch? Also,
the brooch was missing.
What if the mom had it?
Yeah,
and you guys are probably right about like nobody knows really the truth about this entity, which is what I'm worried about. I don't want it to be too prolonged so much that season 5 or later on, oh yeah, this is what the entity is about. I actually want to know what the entity is. Is it a demon?
You don't want another
witch?
Lost.
Yeah.
I really want to. Hey, okay, this is the and now we're gonna go on and trying to solve that issue. But overall, I like the lore. I like where it's going with.
I'm enjoying this as well.
If they're gonna go, if they're gonna go the route where they're gonna leave us in another cliffhanger and we don't know what's going on, hopefully the payoff is good enough for me not to get pissed off. Like, yo, what the hell is going on? Because I really hate like those cliffhangers where you're like, oh damn, I don't know what's happening.
I think every episode going forward gonna hit us with one. But Brandon, you got anything else?
No, that's it. I'm just looking forward to see again. Like I think it's okay to be mysterious about some things. Just give me a little something. That's all I need. I don't need to know every little thing, especially if they're gonna do season 2, season 3, whatever. And also these streaming series don't last as long as some network stuff. So, my guess is, they might give us a little something, and season 2 will get a little more, and maybe they'll do like 3 or 4 seasons.
Close it out at 3, maybe.
Yeah, like I don't think this is going to be like a 7-season thing, and we still don't know what's going on.
I got you. Yeah.
So I think mainly because it's a streaming series, I don't think that we're going to get to that point. But I'm more excited for seeing what happens with these characters, seeing how the town deals with it. you know, one thing I do want, I want the people of the town to collectively like admit, like they're like come out of the denial stage, right? You know, because everybody's in denial. Everybody knows the weird stuff that's going on. Everybody knows the weird history. Some of them were there for it, you know. And Ruth leaving at 3 p.m. every day, like I don't know.
Maybe she's the hag.
She probably sacrificed something like even 3 p.m. She gotta go.
No, I think she knows what's going on. She just, go about her business.
No, yeah. She's like, I ain't got nothing to do with this. I don't want to be around for it. But after 3 p.m., shit gets crazy.
One thing I thought this was about, because the way Tom was getting like introduced to these like mysteries, like the hag, that serial killer. I thought it was going to be like one of those type of Pennywise type of entity things where it has different like things attacking you, but we'll see.
We'll see. So for everybody to be prepared, the next episode is called Your Baggage. So I'm pretty sure the main plot focus will be Loftus and his son, that baggage. But hopefully they'll still keep the overall arc moving while we get that. But it could be another standalone episode like our history. Fortunately for us, we got 2 back to back. But we'll see. But I feel like the title of that episode means that it may just kind of focus on that, and we may have to wait till episode 9 and 10 to really get that arc moving. But we'll see. We shall see. So I want everybody to get in those comments and let us know. Tell us how you feel about this season so far. Let us know your theories. Let us know if you can find a way to make my theories work. Let us know who your favorite character is, and if you're enjoying it, if you're not enjoying it, we're gonna communicate with you. We'll get back in the comments. We'll have a conversation. And if you like what we're doing, you want to support this channel, please make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, turn on the alerts, and join the collective community. All right. So again, this was Widow's Babe, which is available on Apple TV. This is episode 6 and 9. We are the Critics Collective. I'm Legacy Lingo. We got Manny, the not so super fan, Brandon V. Fletcher, and we will see you guys on the next one.